Feel free to check out my TeePublic after the video. No one has anything good to say about All Monsters Attack, or as most of us know it as Godzilla's Revenge. For so many years, it has been damned by the fanbase as being the worst Godzilla movie ever made. As we approach the 70s, the Japanese film industry is beginning to reach a decline, and many people just don't really have any interest to go see movies due to the high demand of the Japanese workforce. And because of this, many children were unable to spend as much time with their parents as they were unable to look after them all the time. And in some cases, the children were being watched over by caretakers. Another result of this, as well as the boom of television, was when Toho started the Toho Champion Festival, where they would produce new films and sometimes recuts of older films, along with anime shorts aimed at a much younger demographic. This was a means to get more children into movie theaters, and the first Champion Festival was held on the winter of 1969 with All Monsters Attack, alongside Kanto 55 Grand Outer Space Adventure and Star of the Giants Go-Huma. With that in mind, let us explore the premise of All Monsters Attack. It's centered around a young boy named Ichiro who is constantly getting picked on by bullies. His mother and father are always working and only has a toy maker as his caretaker. So already we're seeing perhaps the heart of the film as it reflects Japanese society at the time of its release. Much like how the original Godzilla was a metaphor for the advancement of atomic weapons and military science. In fact, director Ishiro Honda wanted to highlight Japan's post-war economic development by filming the scene set in the real world in Kawasaki. So in his free time, Ichiro takes a nap and dreams that he's on Monster Island with Minya, who he befriends and forms a connection with, since Minya is also dealing with a bully named Gabara, which is also the name of the kid who's bullying Ichiro. Basically, these two are dealing with the same problems, but don't really know how to stand their ground and fight back. Now, the major issue people have with this film is how much of it is composed of stock footage, mainly from Ebra Horror the Deep and Son of Godzilla, with bits of Destroy All Monsters here and there. This is definitely where the film suffers the most, as almost every monster scene is taken from other films. And if you've already seen them up to this point, you're pretty much setting yourself up for a little disappointment. There's also a point where Ichiro gets kidnapped by two criminals. It may seem like it comes out of nowhere, but child abductions were common in Japan at the time, since again, children were usually left alone. And this is the point where Ichiro learns to stand up for himself and fights off his kidnappers. And in the end, Ichiro stands up to Gabara and comes out on top after humiliating him in front of his friends. Then falls into peer pressure by honking the horn on a guy's bike after refusing to earlier in the film, which results in him falling over and getting covered in paint. So now Ichiro is basically just being a dick. So as a human drama, All Monsters Attack isn't necessarily terrible, but there is a lot of room for improvement. But as a monster film, All Monsters Attack does fail to deliver. Either the monsters could have been used better or not used at all considering the low budget of this film. But does it really deserve to be called the worst Godzilla movie ever made? Well, it definitely has some heart. Very interesting ideas arise, but there isn't enough to fulfill their potential. It does have a fine human-driven narrative, but it is unfortunately shrouded in questionable writing and awkward editing. I wouldn't really recommend this one as much as I would recommend other films like Varan and Atragon, but I would watch it over something like Daigoro vs. Goliath any day. That's all I have for today's History of Godzilla. Thank you for watching, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Do I even need to talk about the English dub?
Godzilla says that I should learn to fight my own battles, you know.